The Middle East has always been more than a regional arena. It is the world's chessboard, where global powers test their strategies and project their influence. In the 21st century, three powers, the United States, Russia, and China, compete in a silent but relentless rivalry across the sands and seas of the Middle East. For decades, the United States was the unrivaled hegemon. After the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, Washington's military footprint stretched from the Gulf to the Levant. Bases in Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait became hubs of American power projection. The Fifth Fleet patrolled the Persian Gulf. U.S. drones struck targets from Yemen to Pakistan. To allies, America was the guarantor of stability. To its enemies, the face of occupation. But as America's wars dragged on, another power seized the opportunity. In 2015, Russia intervened in Syria. With airstrikes, military advisors, and political backing, Moscow ensured the survival of Bashar al-Assad. This was not only about Damascus. It was about planting the Russian flag in the Mediterranean, securing naval access in Tartus, and proving that Moscow could outmaneuver Washington in the heart of the Arab world. On Syrian soil, American and Russian forces sometimes operated within kilometers of each other, testing red lines, avoiding direct conflict, yet symbolizing a broader struggle. Which superpower would shape the post-American Middle East? Into this duel stepped a third competitor, China. Unlike the US and Russia, Beijing did not arrive with aircraft carriers or tanks. It arrived with contracts, infrastructure, and billions in investment. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, China signed strategic deals with Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE. It built ports, financed energy projects, and expanded digital infrastructure. In 2023, it even mediated an unprecedented reconciliation between Riyadh and Tehran, a diplomatic role once reserved for Washington. The Ukraine war amplified these rivalries. As Europe scrambled to replace Russian gas, the Middle East became vital once again. Qatar's liquefied natural gas, Israel's gas fields, Saudi oil, all became lifelines for Europe's survival. For Washington, this was a chance to tighten alliances. For Moscow, a reason to deepen energy ties with Tehran. For Beijing, an opportunity to lock in long-term supply contracts, securing its rise as the world's biggest energy consumer. But the rivalry is no longer fought only with armies or oil. It is fought in cyberspace, through surveillance technology, drones, artificial intelligence, and influence operations. American sanctions on Iran's tech sector, Russian cyber campaigns across the region, Chinese 5G networks installed in Gulf states. The struggle for the Middle East is a struggle for the future, not just of territory, but of data, connectivity, and global supply chains. Each great power brings its own promise. Security from the United States, survival from Russia, development from China. But for the Middle East's rulers, the game is one of balance. They no longer depend on a single patron. Instead, they maneuver between Washington, Moscow, and Beijing, extracting weapons, investments, and guarantees, while refusing to choose sides. The Middle East of today is no longer an American lake. It is a contested sea, where empires old and new compete for influence. The United States, Russia, and China may clash in Europe or the Pacific. But here, in the deserts and ports of the Middle East, their rivalry plays out in silence, shaping the destiny of nations and the balance of global power. The Undercover Journal. On our website, you will find exclusive articles and analyses on topics related to intelligence services, espionage, terrorism, geopolitical strategy, tradecraft, cyber warfare, and real spy stories. Intelligence and security. Visit the website today.